This is the face of a woman accused of a shocking crime spree that spanned 2 states. Taylor Santiago, a 31-year-old mother, allegedly went on a murderous rampage targeting the fathers of her children. Authorities say it all began with a custody dispute that pushed her over the edge. On January 23, Santiago drove from her home in Aurora, Missouri, to Eureka Springs, Arkansas, where she allegedly shot her daughter's father and his girlfriend, Sophia Williams. Williams did not survive. But Santiago wasn't done. She then returned to Missouri, where she lured another ex-partner, Troy Huffman, to her home and allegedly shot him dead. At 1:45 a.m., she called the police from their parking lot and turned herself in, confessing to both crimes. Investigators later discovered she had left a child inside the house with Huffman's body before surrendering. Now, as police and courts piece together what led to this horrifying tragedy, 2 children are left without parents. Child custody disputes are often messy, emotional, and deeply traumatic. Parents fight for the right to raise their children, but when the court decides against one party, the fallout can be devastating. In Taylor Santiago's case, losing custody may have been the breaking point. Just days before the shootings, a judge awarded custody of her daughter to her ex-partner and his girlfriend, Sophia Williams. This ruling allegedly set Santiago on a violent path, culminating in the deaths of Williams and another ex, Troy Huffman. Unfortunately, this case is not unique. Legal experts say custody battles can push people to extremes, especially when they feel powerless. Judges often struggle with these cases, knowing emotions run high and the potential for violence looms. While most parents fight through legal channels, some, like Santiago, is accused of take matters into their own hands, with tragic consequences. The question remains, could this have been prevented? Custody battles don't just pit parents against each other, they also expose deeply personal details to the public. Court documents often contain addresses, custody schedules, and sensitive family information, making it easy for anyone to track down a parent or child. In Taylor Santiago's case, her ex-partner and his girlfriend had just been awarded custody, and their location may have been accessible through legal filings. Now, Williams' grieving family is calling for laws to protect custody-related information, arguing that parents should not have access to the home addresses of those granted custody. Legal experts agree that while both parents have a right to know where their children are, public access to this information creates serious safety risks. Judges are hesitant to seal records, fearing backlash over limiting transparency. But in cases like this, where emotions run dangerously high, should privacy outweigh the public's right to know? Family court judges face an immense challenge when ruling on custody cases. Unlike criminal trials, where guilt and innocence are determined by evidence, custody battles revolve around emotions, personal histories, and the well-being of children. Judges often say they would rather preside over a murder trial than a heated custody dispute, as the latter can bring out extreme reactions, sometimes with deadly consequences. In Taylor Santiago's case, experts suggest that the abrupt custody ruling may have triggered her violent actions. But can the system do more to prevent such tragedies? Some argue that courts should implement cooling-off periods after rulings, providing emotional and psychological support to parents who lose custody. Others believe that mediation and alternative dispute resolution could help reduce tension before cases reach a boiling point. While courts strive for fairness, cases like this highlight a grim reality. Sometimes, a custody ruling doesn't just decide where a child lives, it can mean life or death. Could Taylor Santiago's alleged crimes have been prevented? Legal experts argue that many custody battles spiral out of control due to a lack of emotional support and mediation. When courts issue life-altering rulings, some parents feel blindsided, helpless, and desperate. In high-conflict cases, mediation, where neutral parties help parents negotiate agreements, can ease tensions before they escalate. Additionally, some attorneys recommend temporary monitoring periods after contentious rulings to ensure emotional stability. Security measures, like supervised custody exchanges at neutral locations, could also prevent direct confrontations. But the biggest challenge remains, predicting who might resort to violence. Santiago showed no clear warning signs before allegedly committing 2 murders. While no system is foolproof, experts stress that better mental health resources, stricter confidentiality in court records, and alternative dispute resolution could help prevent future tragedies. The question is, will the legal system adapt before another custody battle turns deadly? The public has a right to know what happens in court, but when does that right outweigh personal privacy and safety? In cases like Taylor Santiago's, where a custody dispute allegedly led to violence, some argue that too much personal information is easily accessible. Court filings often list addresses, custody schedules, and other sensitive details, which can be exploited by those with bad intentions. Santiago's victims had recently been awarded custody, and their location may have been found through legal documents. While media transparency helps the public understand how the system works, it also raises concerns about security. Some legal experts believe custody rulings should be more private, especially when tensions are high. But judges are often reluctant to seal records, fearing accusations of secrecy or favoritism. The debate continues. Should courts prioritize public access to information, or is it time to rethink privacy protections in family law? What drives a parent to commit unthinkable acts after losing custody? While most parents, no matter how devastated, accept court rulings, some spiral into rage and desperation. Taylor Santiago's alleged actions shocked those who knew her. Former co-workers described her as kind and responsible. Yet, within hours of losing custody, she is accused of targeting and killing 2 people. Experts say that sudden and severe custody losses can push individuals over the edge, especially if they already struggle with emotional instability. The problem? Many of these individuals don't have a history of violence, making them hard to predict. Mental health evaluations are rarely mandatory in custody cases, and no formal monitoring exists after a ruling. Would additional psychological screenings help identify high-risk individuals? Should courts provide mandatory counseling after custody disputes? While hindsight makes tragedies clearer, the challenge remains: how can we recognize a breaking point before it's too late?